Welcome back to today's video. Upload schedule is different. Won't be every day of the week. Just not finding a lot of stuff to play. But welcome back to Friday Eve Scares. Let's get right into the video. Alright, first animation we have Mort Entertainment. Everyone's going to be linked down below in the description. Let's get right into story 1.
This story is more of an urbex experience. However, it did happen during a sleepover. It took place in Alton.
Nah, this is going to sound weird, but I feel safer. Not safer. I can sleep more peacefully at a friend's house than my house. Only in the sense of, for some reason, I feel zero sense of danger in someone else's house that I know. But in my house, I always have like those late thoughts of like, what if someone breaks in? But I don't think that in my friend's house and stuff. I don't know why.
Which is a small countryside town in England. The town doesn't really have much to offer for young people growing up
we're
there.
in the UK.
And for that reason, it encouraged many rebellious kids like myself to find mischievous things to do in our spare time, often without our parents' knowledge. I'm not an easily scared individual, but this experience shook me up for a whole month.
Everyone says that. I don't even get scared easily. One scary thing happens to them in person, they're like, yeah, I was messed up for a little bit. I was messed up for a little bit. I wonder why, man. God.
I remember it as clear as glass. It was a Friday. My friend, who I will call Jack, asked me in math class if I wanted to do a sleepover at his place for the weekend. I was hesitant at first because I wasn't really a fan of sleepovers. But then he persuaded me by mentioning that there was this abandoned hospital to explore in the woods. I jumped at the idea because I was really into all things scary and had heard about this same abandoned hospital in a Mr. Nightmare video.
Ooh,
the thought had
shout out Mr. Nightmare
to my mind to go explore it, since I lived in the same town, and this would present the perfect opportunity. Of course, I said yes, and then Jack told me to be at his place at noon on Saturday. I got home after a tiring day and did some further research about this abandoned hospital online. It was called the Robertson House. After scrolling for a few seconds, I came across more YouTube videos of creators exploring the hospital, which I was surprised to see. One of the videos began giving an explanation of how this place was used to treat British soldiers who had...
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. If I already see, like, someone make a video on it, I feel like I kind of lose all interest to go. Like, a lot of people have done it. It's online. I can watch a video and see what's gonna happen. But my biggest thing about abandoned places aren't ghosts. It's the homeless people that will stab you that are sitting in there sleeping. You go in there, you're like, hello? Hello? And then it's ching, 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 ching. You're dead. You're like, this is my domicile. This is my private domicile. This is my house. Squatters' rights, man. Then you die. Then you die to some homeless crackhead living in the abandoned house. But no, let's go explore. It's ghost. Nah.
returned from the South African Boer War. It was then reopened in 1908 and was used as a treatment center for children who suffered from tuberculosis. But for whatever reason, it got shut down and was sold off in 2001. Since then, there have been stories circling the internet of paranormal activity happening within the building, from the voices of children being heard down the hallways to loud taps and bangs on the walls. I was always skeptical of the paranormal, so I didn't read too much into it. The next day, I made it to Jack's house in the afternoon, and we quickly ate dinner, barely able to contain our excitement. When we left,
Bro,
we told...
There's no way you're that bored. You're like, oh my god, haunted hospital, yay! Where's the Xbox and PlayStation at, dude? If, like, hanging out is still boring, just play a game. I don't know. Go ding-dong ditching. TP, I don't know, just don't die.
Told Jack's mom
They're going
that
to
we were
die.
only going to the town center and wouldn't be gone for more than a couple of hours. His mother nodded, and we set off toward the hospital. After 20 minutes, we got to the forest that supposedly led up to the hospital's estate. It was a quiet, isolated area. As the
We're back.
twigs snapped beneath our feet, We both picked up on just how silent it suddenly became out here. Despite being with a friend, I couldn't shake off the uneasy feeling that had hit my stomach since entering these woods.
That's low-key, when you go anywhere and it's eerily silent, you're gonna get that uneasy feeling. I've never not been in, like, the woods, or just somewhere, like, pitch black and there's, like, nothing but silence. I've never not been, like, eerie of it. I don't know.
I was hoping that at any second I would hear the sound of birds, or leaves rustling, or the wind blowing through the trees. But that wish never came true. It was like all life ceased to exist in this area. I was almost regretting my decision to come here. However, I carried on, staying on high alert until we finally came across the towering bricks that I had seen in the YouTube
safe
videos.
No matter what, you go into an
Tall
abandoned
grass
place.
and weeds covered the bottom half of the building, and every window was boarded up with graffiti splashed all over them. Except for one that stood out. It was like being in a scene in the show, The Haunting of Hill House. Jack strolled ahead of me because he could see that I was losing my confidence. He told me, "The entrance is this way," and pointed toward the one window that hadn't been boarded up.
Actually, buddy, the entrance is this way. I know you're freaking terrified, but, we're going in. I'm not a good friend. If you see one of your friends bugging, tweaking out, don't go. Go a different time. Go with someone else. Dude, oh my God. If I'm sitting there tweaking, actually, nah. Every time I've low-key been tweaking and me and my friends would do something like that, I'm like, eerie, I just suck it up. But that's just because I'm like, I'm not going to ruin it for people. But it's just 2 kids. Just 2 of you. One doesn't want to go, just don't go, okay? I only continue doing what we're doing because it's like a group and I'm like the only one out of like 4 or 5 that's kind of eerie. So I just keep it inside, man.
Up. Jack climbed inside first.
You get in there, Jack.
Being careful not to cut himself. And then I followed.
Glass, probably.
We both stood by the window preparing our phone flashlights before slowly stepping into the dark hallway. I noticed more graffiti littering the walls, as well as spider eggs hanging from the doorways, which Jack pointed out to me and jokingly said, "You do not want to crack one of these open." I was too fearful to laugh in the moment. We both noticed that there was a door in the hallway that was halfway open. I pointed my flashlight to the aperture, and that's when Jack dared me to walk in there without my phone, to which I strongly declined. I said to him that if anyone was going to go in there alone, it would be him. He agreed to do it, but not without calling me a massive coward for refusing. I watched nervously as he approached the door, pushed it open, and then turned his phone light off. I then saw his figure slowly disappear into the room, and then an eerie silence followed. I waited outside, clutching my...
Even if I went in there and I didn't even, like, see anything, I'm running out like I was like, ah! And run out just to freak everyone out and be like, we gotta go.
Phone, thinking about calling it a night, when suddenly I hear Jack yell. I heard genuine fear in his voice, so I knew he wasn't joking around. I swiftly rushed in and saw Jack in the middle of the room, looking down at his feet with his back to me. I asked him what was wrong, and when he turned to look at me, I could see a look of pure fear in his eyes. He signaled to me what he was staring at, and when I saw myself, my blood ran cold. Inches away from Jack's feet was a pile of bird carcasses stacked on top of each other.
Hell no.
Some were old and decomposed, while others looked fresh. We heard what sounded like hooves crashing down above our heads. Jack and I looked at each other.
You boys are cooked. Leave! Leave, man! Just leave! You heard crackhead McGee upstairs that's killing birds and leaving them downstairs walking. He's like, eat, 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 just walking upstairs and you're like, oh, what was that noise? It sounded like hooves. What was that?
to me that we were both
Man,
hearing
you
the same
stupid.
thing and booked it toward the exit. As I walked past the staircase, Jack yelled out, "Hey, I still want to see what's upstairs. Have you..."
Jack's a piece of shit. Jack just was scared and probably pissed himself and he saw dead birds and he's like, I actually want to go upstairs. I know we just heard crackhead Joe up there tiptoeing at his Jordans, but let's just go take a gander. No, Jack, no!
You lost your mind? I know you heard those footsteps too. There could be a squatter roaming around up there.
Exactly. What do you have to say, Jack?
And without hesitation,
Jack wants to die.
He shouted
Jack?
from the bottom of the staircase, "Hey,
is anyone up there?
We mean you no harm." An uncomfortable vibe followed. He then took his first step.
I've never seen a video of someone ask if a squatter's in a place and they're like, yeah, I'm right here. No, they always sit there. They're like, they're probably methed out. I don't know.
The stairs creaked loudly as he did. My anxiety was stirring with each step he took. Even though I wanted nothing more than to get the hell out of there, I didn't want him to go alone. I approached the bottom step, but as I got there, Jack said, "Don't. You're not going up there alone. The stairs will collapse if you take another step. Just stay here." Fine. This is a really..."
He's like, no, I'm going up alone. You stay down there alone. The stairs will collapse. How does he know the stairs are going to collapse?
"Stupid idea. I'm going to wait for you outside." He nodded to me, then disappeared out of sight.
Jack's dying.
And then I made my way to the window that we entered through and carefully hoisted myself out of the building.
Get the fuck out of here.
I waited for a good minute,
I'm still tweaking.
wondering if I had made the right choice to leave Jack in there.
Still tweaking. I don't care.
Suddenly, I heard the sound of sprinting, getting louder and louder, coming from inside the building. That's when I saw Jack through the window, running toward me. He then jumped out, faster than a cheetah. Before I could even ask any questions, he told me to run and to not stop. I followed after him, running faster than I ever had before, with adrenaline pumping through my veins. After what felt like a half an hour, we made it to the town center and stopped to catch our breath. Once I regained my composure, I asked him what the hell happened in there.
Oh, it got me yawning. How many goddamn
Jack told me that after he got to the top of the stairs, he saw a room directly in front of him and could see small glimmers of light at the bottom of the door. He then put two and two together and determined that this was the area where we had heard the footsteps coming from.
Yeah.
He continued the story and said that when he opened the door, he pointed his phone's light into the room and saw a huge pentagram painted on the floor with candles surrounding it. When he backed out of the room and into the hallway, he then saw several robed figures standing at the end of the hallway, looking at him. That's when he decided that he had enough excitement for one night, and it was time to leave. We chose to not speak a word about this to anyone. To this day, this experience still sends chills down my spine.
So we're lying. So we are lying. Jack is a freaking liar, dude. Jack is lying his ass off. Jack went in there, probably got spooked by a raccoon or just a random homeless man and freaked out. We heard one set of footsteps, not six. Let alone would they probably let that kid leave. Nah, we're lying.
Fine. Who were those people in the hospital with us? Was it some kind of cult that lives out in those woods? Quite frankly, I don't need to know that badly. I stay far away from those woods now, and I advise anyone to never allow their curiosity to get the better of them in situations like this. There are some things that are better left in the forest.
Okay, so after the first one, kind of got goosebumps. I'm going to be honest, I think Jack was lying, but he got the job done with Scan. So let's get right to the second one. All right, this one comes from MJV Animations. So make sure you go give them a a sub and like the videos, okay? And remember, everyone's linked in the description, so let's get right into it.
A childhood friend of mine, I'll call him Ethan, were out in the forests of Maine on a short camping trip. We both were fairly experienced. However, this was Ethan's first time going to this spot. I'd been there plenty of times before though, so I knew the area pretty well. We backpacked down a several-hour-long trail to get to a clearing in the trees that we set up camp in. I think we arrived around 6, so after
I'm trying to think. Camping. I've only been camping a couple times. I I feel like my family would be more of a camping family, but we're kind of not. But I've been camping like a couple times, and the no bad experience. I do remember one thing. I was camping a bunch of family, and we got flooded. That's all I remember is we got flooded. They had a big enough tent where they could fit 2 beds in it. So I was living life. Little me was living life, dude. Living. And then it flooded, and we had to get the hell out of there. Not like bad flood, but it flooded the tents, like up to the top of the beds, basically. We would have drowned, I think, if we would have kept sleeping. But yeah, that's the
setting
only
everything up,
scary camping stories I have.
we built up a nice campfire and made food.
Let me know if you
Then
guys have
cracked
any.
open a few beers and talked around the fire as the sun set around us. It was a chill, enjoyable night. I want to say around 2 hours into the night though, we both heard what we thought was something moving around just outside of our campsite, like in the darkness, past what our campfire was lighting up. We looked and saw nothing, and for the rest of the night, we heard nothing else. We
Bro,
thought
I'm sorry. People got some cojones, bro. Call me a little puss all you want, but if I thought I heard footsteps, I'd be too freaked out to even peek outside of my tent. You know, like that means they had to unzip the whole thing and both get out. Like, what if you unzip it and you poke your head out and just gone? Someone chops your head off. Like,
it was probably just a
bruh,
small animal
I'd
scurrying away.
tweak out so easily.
Honestly, if nothing else happened,
I don't tweak out easily. I kind of get spooked easily. Like, I will get uneasy easily. But I'm not
I never
instantly
even
gonna
would
go
have remembered it or
puss
thought about
mode
it again.
and cry in a corner.
That's how insignificant it seemed in the moment.
They just
If
forgot
you're
about
unfamiliar
it.
with camping, it might seem strange, but being out here all the time, those kinds of noises happen a lot and are almost always nothing to worry about. Once we had our couple drinks and started getting tired, we called it a night and poured out the fire, then got in our tents and fell asleep. In the morning, we woke up early, as this spot was good for a reason.
Okay.
That reason is because there was a very secluded private
going fishing?
pond just a half-mile through the woods from the campsite. Nobody knew about it because the trail didn't actually lead to it.
Okay.
It was really nice though, having a mini waterfall and small river running through it.
Are you guys going skinny dipping?
We spent most of our morning there, like a whole 3 or 4 hours. Eventually, we headed back.
You guys just spent 3 or 4 hours at like a river, not swimming, not fishing, not nothing. You guys were just sitting there like this. So, come here often. Like, what are you doing? Have some fun,
to
man
make
bun.
food and rest for a bit. I even took a short nap. Again though, around 6 the sun was getting lower, and we hadn't collected any firewood yet for the campfire. Most of the dry sticks lying around the camp we used up last night, so I had to do a little more searching to collect what we needed. Midway through, Ethan said he was going to take a walk around and just explore the other areas, but would pick up whatever he could on his way back.
Don't go alone.
I said sure, and just continued grabbing sticks off the ground.
Okay.
Ethan did this pretty much every time we were out camping.
Oh.
I think he just enjoyed having some time to spend alone, and to just take in the nature. Anyway, I got a good amount of firewood and sat back down at the camp, just wasting time until Ethan got back so I could...
Bro, imagine being like in one of the 13 colonies and you have to do this every day. Do you think they were... Back then, well, they believed in hella shit back then, didn't they? I mean, like, they didn't know if there were monsters in the woods. I mean, we technically don't know. But, like, I guess the biggest fear now is what if someone's out there watching you? But back then, I don't think they were really thinking there's a serial killer in the woods back then. You know what I mean? So, yeah, never mind. I was going to say, like, imagine having to do that every day. Fight the fear every day. But I guess they probably weren't too scared of people.
The sun
There's like a
got
bear.
lower and lower.
Maybe the
and eventually,
Mothman.
I just kind of
They didn't even
realized
know
it
about
had
the
been a
Mothman.
strangely long time since he'd left.
He's gone. He's
Usually,
missing.
he wasn't out this long, and he was experienced enough to know to not be wandering the woods so close to sunsets. The only way we had to keep in contact out here, where there's no service, is through our small satellite messengers. We kept them on us at all times in our small waste packs, along with bear spray and other stuff like that. It's usually more of an SOS device, but in situations like this, it came in handy too. I pulled mine out to send him a message, but saw that he'd already sent me one just a few minutes ago. Ethan said he got kinda lost, but happened to stumble back to
Oh, friend, what if that said, "Oh my God, help me, I'm being chased"? Like, and you're sitting there like, you actually sent me one like 5 minutes ago. You actually
I
sent
sent a
me
message
5 minutes
saying
ago.
to just stay there and I'll hurry over to lead him back. Being lost, it's always best just to stay put and not risk getting any more lost. And both me and Ethan knew that. So, me knowing the area, I quickly started heading to the pond. At this point, it was really just a race against the sun. Even having headlamps and knowing the area during the day, it would still be really easy to get lost at night. I got about halfway to the pond, maybe 4 or 5 minutes away, when I got another message.
Oh.
I reached into my bag and checked it, assuming it was just going to be him checking in or asking for an ETA. But Ethan sent the words, "I see you."
Oh, hell
What
nah.
did he mean, "I see you"? I wasn't even near the pond yet.
That's funny.
I stopped and
He's
looked around,
rage-baiting.
confused, and not seeing him anywhere. I said I wasn't there yet, and didn't see him. Slightly worried, I started
running down that trail.
moving faster, basically running to the pond.
Thank you.
I got there quickly, running up to the tree line before the water. Ethan wasn't there. From where I was, I could see the whole tree line around the pond, and he wasn't anywhere around.
He's swimming.
I felt blood rush from my face and pulled the messenger back out. My last message saying that I didn't see him hadn't been opened.
Ooh.
I called out his name, hearing my voice echo
Ethan.
through the trees.
Ethan.
The sun was nearly gone, and the forest was getting quieter and darker. Maybe he already started heading back, like he somehow remembered the way. I don't know why he would, but where else would he be? With the daylight practically gone, I knew it was safest for me to head back and figure things
True, guys.
out from the camp.
This actually happened.
I didn't start the fire yet, so if I waited too long, I'd never be able to find the campsite in the dark. I began walking, feeling uneasy as I moved through the trees and felt the woods get darker and darker.
Run, man.
All I could think about was the ominous last message he sent. "I see you." It was nearly pitch black by the time I was a minute or so from the clearing, but then I saw something. A flickering orange glow right
Oh, I got the chills. Look at Momo, bro. It looks like Momo. It looks like Momo.
from where the campsite was.
Bucktooth having
As I got closer, I could see that the campfire was lit and someone
Dude, she looked like this. She's like this, son. Looking like
was
this.
standing right by it. I started approaching, feeling a wave of relief, knowing Ethan had made it back safely.
That's not
But
Ethan,
when I got
son.
closer, the person suddenly shifted and
Look, she's like, hey,
looked
where
toward
your
me,
lip at?
then sprinted away from the fire and out of the campsite.
She's just
Heart
nervy.
pumping, I ran up, confused and terrified. That wasn't Ethan.
No, dummy.
I pulled my messenger back out and started spamming texts. At this point, I was seriously worried and disturbed by what was going on. But
Hold on.
pulled my messenger back
Where did you go, bro? I'm in trouble. Come here quick. The freaky one standing in a camp. Are you okay, Ethan?
out and started spamming texts. At this point, I was seriously worried and disturbed by what was going on. But just
turn out Ethan's like taking a piss behind the tent. He's just like, What's up? My bad,
A
man.
minute or so later, Ethan came running out of the woods and into the campsite. He had a face of both fear and relief.
And where did bro go?
He immediately said we had to go. I agreed, mentioning the guy I saw by the fire, and him saying it was likely the same guy he saw approaching him by the pond. He said he thought it was me, until he got closer and realized it was someone else.
Oh, hell no.
Apparently then, Ethan tried asking if the guy knew how to get back to the trail, but the man didn't respond. He just kept walking forward, revealing a really unsettling smile across his face. And according to Ethan, something about him looked really off, like his face was uncanny. Something just wasn't normal about it. This sent him into a
Yeah, I'm
panic,
freaking out
where
too.
he just
I'm
ran in
freaking
the
the fuck out
direction
too.
he thought was most likely toward the campsite, getting lost again.
Why'd you say I see you though?
But eventually seeing the fire and going toward it. We packed and left. The hike back was unnerving to say the least, but we did manage to get to our car and leave. This event made me rethink back on the whole camping trip, remembering the movement we heard outside of our camp on the first night, and just putting all the pieces together.
Why'd Ethan
Likely,
say?
the man that was out there
Why did
was
Ethan
watching
say,
us
"I
the
see
whole
you"?
time, waiting for one of us to be alone. Even just thinking about his presence outside of our campsite as we were talking, sleeping, and everything, completely unknown to us, is extremely disturbing. We still talk about that camping trip every now and again.
Yeah, you remember when I went off alone and got lost and texted I see you for no reason, and then you found the weird creepy man at the campfire? Yeah, that
But
was
never
fun.
planned to go back to those woods.
Bruh. I'm personally, in that experience, okay? I'm going home, never going camping again. But this next one is 5 through Dreadful Horror Story Animations from Broccoli Animations. Okay, story 1. Let's go.
It was a humid August evening in
Okay.
Chicago. The kind where the air sticks to your skin. I'd matched with Ethan on
I was just thinking, I said, and then she brought it up. I was like, I bet it was a sticky day. And she's like, a sticky humid day.
His profile boasting a charming smile and a bio that read, hopeless romantic seeking his forever.
No person is putting hopeless romantic in there, calling themselves that. If anyone calls themselves a hopeless romantic, that's not true.
I
I don't believe it.
why not? I was 28, single, and ready for something new.
Okay.
The date started at a cozy Italian restaurant in the Loop. Ethan was handsome, tall,
The boy at least 40.
with tousled brown
Saggy
hair and
ass
piercing
cheeks.
blue eyes that seemed to see right through me. He was charismatic, cracking jokes and telling stories about his travels. But barely 30 minutes in, he leaned across the table, his eyes gleaming with an intensity that made my stomach twist.
In a good way?
"Sarah,"
Good way, though?
he said, his voice low and serious.
Sarah.
"I know
I
this
love
is
you.
fast, but I want to marry you."
Whoa!
I laughed, thinking
Maybe he is a hopeless romantic. I don't know.
it was a quirky
I thought he was about to get his freak on.
icebreaker. What, like right now? Slow down, cowboy.
All right. You lost me. What I was going to say before the ad, I was like, all right, you lost me, Grandma. Slow down, cowboy.
No, Sarah, I'm serious. He
Okay.
insisted, grabbing my hand. I married my first wife 3 weeks after meeting her. My
What?
second 2 weeks. And
Oh, yeah.
I want to break my record with you. 1 week.
My
one day,
record.
we could be at City Hall by midnight. I blinked. My fork froze in midair. "You're joking, right?" He grinned, but it wasn't playful. It was,
was
manic.
tough.
"I've never been more serious about anything in my life. You're the one, Sarah. I can feel it." I played along, thinking he was just eccentric. We finished dinner, and he suggested a cab to keep the night going. I agreed,
Get a cab.
still chuckling at his proposal.
Okay, it's a cab, so it's safe. It's
but
pretty
when he
safe.
leaned forward and told the driver, "City Hall, please,"
Nope.
my heart dropped.
No,
Ethan,
thank
what
you.
the hell?
No, thank you.
I snapped, my
Ethan,
voice
what
sharp
the
enough to make
fuck?
the driver glance back.
What's
Trust
up?
me, Sarah. This is fate.
My nosy ass, if I'm a taxi driver, Uber driver, I'm sitting here like this, driving. The whole time I'm low-key peeking in the back, just listening in. I'm nosy as
He
shit.
said, his hand
Especially if
gripping.
that sound like they're arguing, I'm gonna be like nosy.
Mine too tightly. I yanked my hand free, my pulse racing. "Stop the car, please," I told the driver. "I gotta be somewhere." I bolted out at a red light, my heels clicking against the pavement as I blocked Ethan's number on my phone. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong.
Well,
The next day I was home. I was sipping coffee when the doorbell rang.
it's gonna be
I
easy.
opened it to find Ethan standing
Babe,
there.
why'd you do that?
His eyes
babe?
red-rimmed, his clothes rumpled. "Sarah, I'm so sorry. I came on too strong. Can we talk, please?" He said, voice breaking. Against my better judgment, I let him in. He looked pathetic, like a kicked puppy. "You have 5 minutes," I said, crossing my arms. He nodded, stepping inside. "I just want to explain." Before I could react, he pulled a small canister from his pocket and sprayed something in my face. A sharp chemical smell hit me, and the room spun. My knees buckled and everything
Pepper spray?
went black. When I
Bullet
came to,
form.
my wrist burned from tight ropes, and a rag was stuffed in my mouth, tasting of sweat and dust. I was in the back seat of a car, the city lights replaced by dark, empty fields. Ethan was in the driver's seat.
He's hitting this. He's... I would've got you. Oh yeah.
He glanced back, noticing I was awake.
Hey.
"Oh,
Precious.
good, you're up,"
Oh.
he said, pulling over onto a deserted stretch of road. He climbed into the back, his face inches from mine. He yanked the gag out.
There's a hitter.
"Sarah, I need you to hear this. I love you very much. You need to marry me, tonight." My throat was dry, but I managed to croak out, "You're insane. Let me go." His face darkened and he pulled a syringe from his jacket, the needle glinting in the moonlight. "Don't make this hard, Sarah," he said.
You think he like flicked it? He had his like tick 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 tick. Don't make this hard. Why she got cat eyes?
His voice cold. "We're meant to be."
What about your other two wives?
He pricked my chest with a needle, just enough to sting. I gasped, the pain sharp and
Is it?
real. He did it again, harder, and tears welled in my eyes.
You're just stabbing her?
"Okay, I'll marry you. Just stop!" I screamed.
You showed it.
He
pretty
smiled
fast.
like a kid who'd won a prize.
She
That's
gave
my
in
girl.
really fast.
We drove to a seedy 24-hour chapel on the outskirts of the city. The officiant, a greasy man with a stained shirt, didn't blink at my disheveled state or the rope marks on my wrists. Ethan had cash, and that was enough for him. I said I'd do
Trying to
through
make
gritted
that bag.
teeth, my mind racing for an escape. The certificate was signed, and Ethan beamed, oblivious to the hatred in my eyes. Back at his dingy apartment, I played the part of the doting wife.
Oh, you're actually
Biding my
giving
time.
in?
Ethan was a drifter, barely scraping by on odd jobs. His romantic facade hiding a fractured
Just leave when he's not home.
mind. He rambled about his ex-wives, how they'd betrayed him, how I was his final chance at love.
Yeah,
I
buddy.
nodded, smiled, and planned. A week later, I slipped out while he slept, using his own phone to call a friend for a ride. I went straight to the police, but Ethan had vanished by the time they raided his place. The cops found photos of me, hundreds of them, taken from a distance,
Heck yeah.
long before our date. He'd been stalking
Yeah, she's
me
posed
for
up for that
months,
one.
building a fantasy I never knew I was a part of. I wasn't going to let him win. I hired one of Chicago's top divorce lawyers. a shark named Rachel Klein who ate cases like Ethan's for breakfast. "This guy is a lunatic," she said, flipping through
find
the
him
police
first.
report. "Don't worry, we'll bury him. Be sure to make it hurt," I replied.
Alright.
Rachel dug into Ethan's past. His first wife was a woman he'd coerced into a fake marriage in Vegas, annulled after she fled. His second wife didn't even exist, just a story he told to seem charmingly impulsive. He'd been in and out of psych wards, dodging charges for harassment and fraud. The man was a walking con, and I was his latest mark. In court, Ethan showed up in a cheap suit, still grinning like he'd won me over. "Sarah, I love you. We're soulmates," he said from the stand, his voice dripping with sincerity.
He just loves
"Save
you,
me.
Sarah.
You kidnapped me, you psycho." I shot back. The judge wasn't impressed by Ethan's theatrics. Rachel painted him as a predator, using the photos, the police
This guy.
report,
Look
and
at
my testimony
everyone.
to secure a divorce and a hefty alimony settlement. Ethan had little money, but Rachel went after his assets: a
Man.
beat-up car, a small savings account, even his collection of rare coins he'd bragged about. She left him with nothing. By the time it was over, Ethan was homeless, sleeping in alleys and shelters. I'd heard
Ethan's
he'd
gonna
taken to
kill
telling
you.
strangers about his marriage records, spinning tales of whirlwind romances to anyone who'd listen. He'd laugh, his eyes wild, as if he still believed he was a romantic hero.
Okay, well, that was the last story for today. But I feel like the lawyer trying to get everything good on her, but that man, I feel like he would have just killed her after that. But just killed Sarah. You know what I mean? Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe. This is JT, and good night!